top story, Louisiana officials say the state is filing multiple lawsuits against CVS for their role in trying to stop legislation regarding pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs. Take a look.
Sending out this mass text message filled with propaganda is both unethical and manipulative, and this state will not be bullied.
Governor Jeff Landry and State Attorney General Liz Murrill announced on Tuesday that 3 lawsuits have been filed in St. Landry Parish after officials say CVS violated state law and used deception to persuade customers into urging state lawmakers to eliminate a piece of legislation. The lawsuits center around 3 different topics: the text messages sent to Louisiana residents, PBM abuse, and harm to Louisiana's independent pharmacies. It's an effort that Governor Landry and a majority of lawmakers support, banning PBMs from owning and operating stores in Louisiana.
PBMs are not healthcare providers. They are corporate profiteers inserted into the most intimate part of your life and your health.
It's my belief that CVS did use customer information for the reason that we, including me, received text messages from CVS on the same text chain that we receive prescription information, flu shot information, and other information related to your health care.
The litigation comes after CVS customers across the Pelican State received a text alert which urged customers to contact local officials and stop a bill from becoming a state law. CVS claims HB 358 would have closed more than 100 local pharmacies in Louisiana, which serve about 980,000 residents. Whenever you first saw the text message of like, oh, all these stores are closing, like talk to your local, what was your first reaction?
Furious. Why would the elimination of a PBM cause a pharmacy to close unless, in fact, they are not independent of one another?
Many state lawmakers on both sides are agreeing with this issue. State House Speaker Pro Tem Mike Johnson says he's been fighting this battle for about 4 years.
CVS is not the only pharmacy. We've got some of the best independent pharmacists anywhere right here in central Louisiana. And when a business starts blackmailing the customer, that's equivalent to the tail wagging the dog. That's not the way it should be.
And for more on the lawsuits individually and CVS's response, you can head over to KALB.com. And joining us now is our political analyst, Greg LaRose, with more on today's major litigation announcement. Greg, thanks so much for joining the show.
Good to be with you.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So regarding all 3 lawsuits, so how do these against CVS potentially impact the pharmacy stores that are across Louisiana?
Well, potentially, I guess you'd have to look and see if the state is successful in its lawsuit. Now, again, we're talking about probably months, if not years, that this could play out, where, let's say, a court decides that CVS did indeed use unfair trade practices. This would go towards breaking up what you heard the governor talking about today. It's integrated, a vertical integration model. And all that is a fancy way of saying you have one company that owns all aspects of the supply chain. So if the state would win that particular lawsuit, then you could potentially see the company broken up. But like, we're nowhere near that. I think you're looking at countersuits, and ultimately, I would think this probably lands in federal court, where you tend to have these trade issues hammered out.
And so when you look at the legislature, right, in this past regular legislative session, one of the bills that didn't end up getting passed was House Bill 358, and the last printed provision would have allowed for PBMs to not own and operate those stores. Why do you believe that bill to ban PBMs from owning and operating stores, why do you think that was not passed out of the legislature? Was it because of the timing, or what do you say?
Yeah, I think timing is it. You nailed it. Senate President Cameron Henry said it was a really, really complex bill that sort of got brought up late in the session, and it was backburnered for most of the session. I think they were concentrating on other things such as the budget and other matters. So really it wasn't until like the last few days of the session that the bill to ban PBM and pharmacy ownership got brought up. And like many things, they go to the Senate and died, and that's what happened.
Absolutely. And so I know we've seen it a lot, especially from lawmakers that are potentially having this special session idea, potentially going back to the legislature in sometime soon. Do you suspect that Governor Landry will eventually call a special session on this issue, or do you see these lawsuits pretty much answering that question?
Well, the governor was asked that today and seemed to indicate that he wants to explore what's within his power. What can the executive branch do just unilaterally without having to involve lawmakers that could accomplish the goals that it wants? I'm by no means a lawyer. I'm by no means a state constitutional expert, but I have a hard time believing that they can sort of lay this down where you can't have co-ownership of PBMs, pharmacies, healthcare plans without the law being changed. So that I think the real question is whether the governor believes it's important enough to bring in lawmakers for a special session, or, and this is what we're hearing from lawmakers, they think this is just something that can wait until next year.
Absolutely, and it'd definitely be, and like you had mentioned before, maybe something to follow back up with next year. It's definitely something to keep in mind as we head through the next couple of months. But our political analyst, Greg LaRose. Greg, thanks so much for joining us today.
You got it. Thanks, Colin.
Absolutely.